Everyone out there is telling you to wait for Social Security, but they're only telling you how much more you're going to get per month or per year. They're missing a key piece, which is how much you're missing out on for the prior years. We're going to teach you how to look at this like an insurance company looks at, the way our government looks at. There's a reason they pay you more to delay, and we're going to show you how important it is to understand what that is so you can finally level out the game with them. Let's jump right into it with this video. Before we jump into a strategy, let's talk a little bit about the lay of the land. We're talking about when you take Social Security, and a quick recap. So it can be as early as age 62, all the way up into age 70. Full retirement age is at 67. Now, this is for people who are born 1960 or later, because they've moved up the dates a little bit as they keep doing. So 62, 67, age 70. And what you hear a lot about is how much more you can get on a monthly basis, because Social Security will pay you a monthly check if you wait when you get the Social Security. Meaning, if you start at age 62, you're going to get less money than with every year after that you start all the way up into age 70. And at age 70, you have to start Social Security. So that's the basic lay of the land. When you look at videos on this or look at web pages and they go through this detail, they're all like, oh, look how much you're going to get if you wait. And let's give you some examples of what that actually looks like from the data right now. So if an individual with the standard kind of setup takes it at age 62, they're looking at $1,400 a month, or just over $16,000, just under 17 actually. Now, if they get all the way up into full retirement age, they're looking at $2,000 or $24,000 a year. That's the standard, right? And then they can get even more if they wait until age 70 at $2,480. So if you look at that, and especially they'll always show you how much more you're going to get annually, it's like, oh, I should really wait to get my Social Security. I'm going to get more money. Look, the government looks at this basically like an insurance company. They have charts on how old people are going to live to. We'll get to that towards the end. Interesting information there. But more importantly, they look at what is ideal for the government to be able to pay these benefits. That might not be what's ideal for you. So we're going to talk about a missing piece that's really important, which is the missed income you're foregoing over those years. Let's jump into that piece now. Again, you're going to hear a lot, oh, if you wait till age 70 to take your Social Security, you're going to get 70% more when you actually start getting paid out. And there's a lot of pushing on this front, a lot of look how much money you can save by waiting. Now, if you don't need the income now, maybe there is some argument there, but even then, we've got to look at the hard numbers. And the thing we want to focus on is missed income. With every year that you forego taking Social Security, there is a chunk of income that's gone. You did not receive it. And that money is a lot. For example, in that first year at age 62, let's say we just wait 1 year. At age 63, we just forwent $16,800, almost $17K, okay? Now, granted, in that next year, we're going to make more in Social Security, but how much more versus that $17,000 we just gave up? That's a lot of money. And we're going to go from $1,400 to $1,500 a month, around $1,200 more per year, but we lost $17,000. So what we really have to look at is break even, meaning with every year that I forego taking Social Security, how long until I catch up from the extra income I'm getting at the new higher rate to the money I lost by not taking it? This is where they're hoping you don't do this calculation. You just see the higher numbers and you wait. And we'll go into the final piece on why. But let's take a look at that break even and show you what a big deal it is, how much money we're talking about if we forego all that income with every year that we wait. Let's go there now. Now we're getting into the secret. So everyone's out there saying, hey, if you wait, you're going to get more money. It could be 70% more if you wait all the way till age 70 from age 62. Even if you just go to full retirement age at age 67, it's going to be 40% more income you're going to get. They'll throw numbers around saying, hey, you're going to make over $7,000 more per year if you wait from age 62 to 67, so a 5-year gap. Wouldn't you want to get that extra $7K a year for the rest of your life? It sounds great, but we got to look at what we're getting and what we're giving up. They don't talk as much about the giving up part, and we're going to explain why that's so important here. We'll go just based on 62 to 67, a 5-year gap, and that's what a lot of people look at. Should I take it early or wait till full retirement? All right, so we're going to make about $7K more per year by doing that. And, that's a lot of money. But we gave up around almost $100,000 in income by foregoing Social Security for those 5 years, which makes sense. Around $18,000 a year, going up each year for 5 years, just under $100K. Okay, we have to really look at that piece because that's money that's gone. I'm assuming everyone's going to live till age 67, right? Because obviously, if you go earlier and it happens, it's even worse because you're getting none of that income and none of the savings. But more importantly, let's look at the 67 versus 62. What we have to do is look at that almost $100,000 and figure out at what point does the $7,000 of extra income we're going to get eat up that $100K we lost. I'm assuming we're not making any money off of that $100K. No interest, not even 3%, 5%, nothing. Just straight difference in what we would have received versus how much extra we're going to get going forward after age 67. Here's the important part. It's the break-even point, meaning at what point do those two numbers collide and that 100K is eaten up by the extra income we're getting in out years. Here's the magic, and here's what no one is really talking about, but you have to start to think like an insurance company, which is how the government thinks about this. The break-even point for all these age differences, meaning waiting till 62, 63, 64, all the way up to the 70, is right around 79 years old. It vacillates from 78 all the way to 80, call it 79. What that means is you're not going to make up all that lost income by waiting until around age 79. Now, I want you to think about that number. Why 79? What's the importance of it? Why do they all seem to hit that point? Don't think it wasn't without design. It was, and the only way you can get ahead of this is to understand why. Let's turn to the next piece. You may get a little upset about this, but at least now you know. All right, why is that number important? Now, when you heard the number 79, you probably maybe cued in a little something in the back of your mind. Wait a minute, that number sounds familiar. And here's why. In the US, the average life expectancy is right around 78. Now, depending on gender, because women live a little bit longer than men, and other demographics come into play, some living much lower on average, some living a little bit higher on average, but the average life expectancy is around 79. Isn't that interesting? It just so happened it's the same number as our break even for when we can finally recoup all that lost income, assuming no interest, just income from Social Security by waiting is finally made up for with the extra income we're going to get going forward. There's no coincidence here. This is a design thing. Basically, it all comes out to about the same. And that's why it's interesting that the table shows whether you start at 72, 73, 74, all the way up to 70 with a 70% difference in income from the highest to the lowest. It doesn't matter. The break even is right around 79. Now, all we can do with this is maybe look at our expectancy based on our family, based on our health, based on how, we take care of ourselves, what we can do. Are we going to hit that 78, 79 average? Might we be under? Look at different criteria that figure into that. Might we be over? We have some longevity genes. But either way, until you get to around 80, you don't start to benefit for waiting to take Social Security. And everyone out there is talking about how much you can make. They're showing you monthly numbers, annual numbers, but you're paying so much to get that extra income in lost amounts from the prior years. And that's the part we have to take into account. We're going to do a whole nother video, which will show you how much you're leaving on the table based on life expectancy. And that's going to be a big eye opener. But look, if you get past age 80, fantastic. It happens all the time. We go based on averages here. But if you get past 80, then okay, that income starts to make up for the income you've lost. However, if you can make any interest off of that money, then that probably accounts or stretches that out for another couple of years, because we're talking about 10, 15 plus years, right? So getting 3 to 5% may stretch that out to 85. We'll look at that in the next video as well. The key point is really take a look at that. All of a sudden, taking Social Security earlier starts to make sense, even if you don't need the money. Look, we're health insurance agents. We focus on Medicare, health insurance, helping people save money on Advantage plans, Medicare supplements. But if we come across something that they can use that's adjacent to that, like Social Security, we're going to bring it to them. So definitely like and subscribe below. And as we come across different topics and ideas like this, you're going to get it right away, because there are ways to save lots of money. We're looking at potentially $100,000 in the situation we talked about today. Stay tuned, like and subscribe. On the next video, we're going to look at break even according to our age estimate. It's going to be fascinating information. So definitely stay with us, and we look forward to seeing you next time. If you stuck around this long, thank you. We appreciate it. You probably have more questions. Reach out to us. There's zero cost for assistance. You can call, email, chat, or best yet, book a time, and we can go through your personal situation to address any questions regarding California health insurance. Because a lot of sources out there are nationwide, and California is really unique. We need to go through the specifics of your situation in your area to find the best options. We don't push. We don't try to sell anything. We answer questions. And if you look at our Google reviews, you'll see that reflected in how we deal with this. We're happy to help. Reach out to us. And do us a big favor. If you could like and subscribe below, that's fantastic, so we can keep bringing this information to California.